Hey friends, thanks for joining me. I wanted to discuss about living our life of purpose in 2025. So many of us, are wondering, what is my purpose? I know I've asked myself that question numerous times. And yes, I've had a lot of mentors in my life and paid a lot of money for mentorship just to learn and grow and just be the very best version of myself, like we all are, as you're reading books and different things. However, I'm very clear on what it takes, what it entails to live a life of purpose. And as you're entering the new year, if you're in that discovery, why not? Let's discuss it. Living a life of purpose in 2025. It's not rocket science. I am a woman of faith, and as a believer, it's very clear in scriptures: love God and love people. You know, love God and love people. Loving God gives me an opportunity to be in my purpose, to be in the purpose of what God intended for me to do. If you are a believer, if you have a higher power, whatever you're believing in, for me as a believer, loving God gives me the opportunity to just be about my purpose, be about what He intended for me to live out my life for. So that's a start for me in regards to living out my purpose. And the very next one, it talks about loving God and loving people. Loving people. Man, you want to take the ownership off of you and your problems and your concern. Once I start loving people, once you start loving people, like really loving them, really caring about what matters to people, that's a game changer. Because then you're not so concerned about you. You're looking to see, how can I elevate someone? How can I give them a hand? And I know people are like, I'm trying to elevate myself. I need a hand. I need to take a step forward. Yes, I understand that. But taking the time to reach out, a text, seeing a need and meeting that need. I was just having a conversation with someone, and meeting a need makes a world of difference. We never know the impact that's going to have in someone's life. And I think that's where in scriptures it talks about loving God and loving people. Do unto others what you would want done to you. Take care of your brothers and sisters, your neighbor. Consider your neighbors, those things, there's a principle behind that makes life worth living. It allows you to have an advancement, because when you're taking the focus off of you, not me, but looking at, okay, there are others. I'm not in this world alone. How can I impact someone? How can I really find out what matters to them and meet that need? If it needs to be making a meal, babysitting their children, whatever it is, I don't know. But putting out things that's gonna help the greater good, touching the life of other, there is a level of fulfillment that you feel. There is a level of support that you feel uplifted and supported, because the problem is not just, the focus is not just on your problem, on your issues. To be quite honest with you, as we exhibit that kind of principle, it lessens the load on us, allows us not to be so self-consumed and self-focused. Your needs does get met. It's weird. It's almost ironic. It's hard to really even comprehend that unless you strive that. And I am telling you, every time I take the focus off of me and focus on others, I'm blessed. And I don't do it just to get, but it amazes me how that turns around. And there's a reason why it's in scripture. There's a reason why it's focus on others, consider others. In 2025, don't lose sight of that. Don't lose sight of taking care of others, of looking out for your neighbor. Love your neighbor as yourself. Really strive to practice that, because there's an enrichment that comes from that, because you enrich the life of someone else. Because look at it, we're in this world, we're not here just for ourselves. Think of how our world would be if we really took on loving your neighbor as yourself. Like seriously, day in and day out, how can I have an impact? How can I touch someone's life? How can I take the burden of someone, you know. Oftentimes we think of taking the burden of ourselves, but how can I lighten the load for someone else? I don't want you to miss out on the blessings that comes with that, the fulfillment, the joy, the excitement that comes from that. There's a reason why it's a priority. Don't sleep on it. Don't forget about that. Yes, your needs will be taken care of. But in 2025, let's really look out for one another. Let's look out for our neighbors. Let's really strive to consider others better than ourselves. That's a challenging one, I know. It challenges me all the time. But it also fulfills me when I live it out. I'm encouraging you to do the same. Give it a try. Give it a try. Love your neighbors as yourselves. I hope this finds you well. I hope you had a great holiday, Christmas season. I hope you're going into the new year really focusing on the things that you've done and how can you take things to the next level. Let's be grateful. Let's be present. Let's be available for all that's to come. As always, be good to yourself and be good to others. I'll see you next time. You take care. Bye-bye.